back with our friends at South Texas Brain and Spine. The doctor is in the house, and today we're visiting with Dr. Alexander to talk about brain tumors and some of the technology associated with whatever procedure you might have to have if you find yourself with one. So we've got a few little models in front of us. First and foremost, what are some of the most common brain tumors that you see, or the variety that we could get?
The most common brain tumors are typically metastatic, meaning spread from somewhere else. So smoking, lung cancer, colon cancer, they spread to the bloodstream to your brain, so they're very common. The most common brain tumor that's a primary brain tumor is usually a meningioma or a glioma. So meningiomas are benign tumors. They go from the covering the brain, pushing into the brain. And then primary brain tumors are gliomas, which range from very low grade to high grade, and they can be any part of the brain can originate from. So if it's deep in the brain, like in the thalamus or basic ganglia or brainstem, those are really hard to resect. So these are much deeper, and they have more information passing through them. So typically we would maybe do a biopsy to confirm the diagnosis, and then we treat with radiation and chemotherapy. Sometimes you can resect it depending on where it is anatomically, but it depends on risk and benefits and longevity and all those things. We take that in incorporation.
Okay, yeah, a lot of things to consider when it comes to that. And again, no two diagnoses are the same. So when it does come to that, you all have a ton of technology that you use not only to perform the operation, but also to ensure that you're mapping everything out correctly. And as the procedure is going, are there any technologies that you use for this procedure in particular?
So in this one, we actually, most times we get an MRI or a CAT scan the day before, and the patient gets stickers put on their head, or we can actually laser touch their face. And we have a probe during surgery so we can map out where the tumor is, and then we can go right on top of the tumor and take it out. So it makes surgery more safer, more efficacious, faster, all those fun things.
Wow.
So basically, this is an example where everyone thinks, when you take out the piece of the skull, you put a metal plate. No, we don't do it anymore. We usually put the same skull back on and attach it with some titanium plates. So that's how we let that heal up.
Okay.
So surgery typically takes 2.5 to 3 hours, depending on location and how big the tumor is. And we remove the tumor as safe as possible, and then we replace that part of the skull, and that's it.
Wow. Incredible. And the brain is a pretty fascinating organ. So I know in the past you all have mentioned that you can have a pretty significant brain tumor and just have no signs or symptoms because we don't have feeling in our brain. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
So a slow-growing tumor, maybe it's been there for a long time, and your brain accommodates it. So your brain is very soft, like a sponge. So some patients can come out the size of a tangerine to an orange, and then some patients, if it's fast-growing, they can have a small tumor, but it's rapidly growing, they can cause more symptoms. So it depends on location, it depends on size, all those things.
Okay. And so even though our brain doesn't have those receptors, how is the healing process? Are we in pain when we're recovering from some sort of a craniotomy?
Sometimes patients have pain, but typically the brain itself, it doesn't. The skin, the bone has some sensory fibers, but on the grand scheme of things, it's not as painful as other surgeries. So most patients do relatively well from it.
Very interesting. Okay, well, we're learning something new every time we come visit, which I truly appreciate. And I know my family and friends that watch from home are like, oh my gosh, Dr. Alexander had something really helpful to share. So we hope you love it too. If you find yourself in need of any of these services, we do know and trust our friends here at South Texas Brain and Spine. They've offered us so much valuable information, so if you need help, you know where to go. Don't forget to mention Coastal Living sent you.
Coastal Living's Doctor in the House is paid for by South Texas Brain and Spine Center.